What if I told you that the way you hug a woman says more about you than anything you could ever say to her? Not your words, not your looks, not your confidence in conversation, just a hug. A few seconds of physical contact that she will either forget immediately or think about for days. Most men don't realize how much a hug communicates before a single word is spoken. The body sends signals constantly, and women pick up on those signals faster than you might think. A hesitant hug tells her something about you, and not something good. Think about what a half-committed hug actually looks like. One arm, body slightly turned away, a quick pat. It's the physical version of saying, "I'm not really sure I want to be here right now." She feels that. Not consciously maybe, but somewhere in her gut, she registers it as uncertainty. And uncertainty in a man is not attractive. It doesn't make her feel safe. It doesn't make her feel chosen. It makes her feel like you're unsure about her, or worse, unsure about yourself. Now flip that. A man who hugs with both arms, chest open, no awkward stiffness, no rushed exit. That hug feels completely different. It feels warm. It feels intentional. It feels like he actually wants to be close to her, and he's completely comfortable with that. That comfort is the key thing here. Women are drawn to men who are at ease in their own skin. When your hug is full and grounded, it's not aggressive or over the top. It's just present. It says, "I'm here, I'm calm, and I'm not weird about this." A lot of men pull back early because they're afraid of coming on too strong. But there's a big difference between being too intense and being fully committed. One comes from ego, the other comes from confidence. She can feel the difference. So when you go in all the way. Not forcefully, just genuinely. That single shift changes how she experiences the entire moment. Most people have forgotten what it feels like to be truly present with another person. Everyone is somewhere else mentally. Mid-hug, they're already thinking about what to say next, or what they have to do later, or how they look in that moment. And that mental absence, she feels it. A hug where your mind is somewhere else is just two bodies standing close together. There's no real connection in it, it's empty. And women are incredibly sensitive to that emptiness, even if they can't always put words to why a hug felt off. Thoughtful. Now think about what happens when a man slows down, not dramatically, not in a weird way, just a beat longer than usual, just enough to signal that he's not in a rush to move on to the next thing. That small shift communicates something really powerful. It says she is worth slowing down for. That feeling of being worth someone's time and full attention is something a lot of people rarely experience. Life moves fast. Most interactions are quick and transactional. So when someone actually stops for you, even for just a few seconds, it stands out in a way that's hard to explain but impossible to ignore. Presence is genuinely one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Not a six-pack, not a perfect jawline. The ability to make someone feel like, right now, in this moment, they have your complete attention. That's rare. And rare things are valuable. The hug that lingers just slightly, calm, warm, no awkwardness behind it, leaves an impression that sticks with her long after the moment passes. She might not be able to explain why she keeps thinking about it, but the reason is simple. You were actually there, and that made all the difference. There's a difference between physically holding someone and actually making them feel safe. Most people don't think about that distinction, but it's one of the most important things to understand about human connection. Physical closeness is just proximity. Emotional safety is something deeper. It's the feeling that the person you're with is steady, that they're not going to make the moment weird, not going to panic, not going to have some hidden agenda behind the closeness. They're just solid, calm, completely at ease. And here's the thing. Women are wired to read emotional steadiness very quickly. It's not something she's consciously analyzing. It happens automatically. When a man feels grounded and calm in a hug, her nervous system actually responds to that. She relaxes. Her guard comes down without her even deciding to lower it. That relaxation is where real connection lives. When someone feels genuinely safe around you, they open up. They become more comfortable. They start to associate your presence with a feeling of calm and warmth. And that association, over time, builds something much deeper than surface-level attraction. A lot of men carry tension into physical moments without realizing it. Stiff shoulders, held breath, a subtle urgency. She picks up on all of it. That tension signals that even you are uncomfortable. So how is she supposed to feel comfortable? Forgettable. Exhales. When your hug has no agenda behind it, no nervousness, no performance, just genuine warmth and steadiness, it creates a feeling she doesn't experience with most people. And that feeling becomes attached to you specifically. She starts to associate you with safety, with ease, with comfort. And people naturally want to be close to what makes them feel that way. That's not a trick. That's just how human beings are built. Most men put all their focus into the beginning of a hug and completely forget that how it ends matters just as much. The exit is part of the experience, and the clumsy or rushed ending can quietly undo everything that came before it. Think about what an awkward ending looks like. He pulls back too fast, like he suddenly remembered he wasn't supposed to be that close. Or he lingers so long that the warmth starts to tip into something uncomfortable. Both of those extremes send the wrong signal. One says he regretted it. The other says he doesn't read the room well. Neither of those is the impression you want to leave. The right ending feels natural. It's not calculated. It's not abrupt. It just flows. You ease back at the moment it feels complete, not a second too early and not a second too late. That kind of timing comes from being present, which is exactly why point 2 matters so much. When you're actually in the moment, you feel when it's time to let go. After you pull back, what you do in that immediate second is important. A calm, brief moment of eye contact, nothing intense, just easy and warm, lands differently than immediately looking away or launching into conversation. Pause. That small pause after the hug says you're still comfortable, still grounded, not flustered by the closeness. A slight natural smile in that moment, if it's genuine, does more than almost anything else. It tells her the hug meant something without you having to say a word. The whole thing takes maybe 2 seconds, but those 2 seconds leave a lasting impression. She walks away from that interaction feeling something she might not even be able to name right away. That feeling is what makes her think about you later. So let's bring it all back together. We talked about 4 things: committing fully, slowing down, making her feel safe, and letting go at the right moment. On the surface, they sound simple, but when you actually apply them, they completely change the energy of a moment. Here's what all 4 of these have in common. None of them are about being smooth. None of them are about running some kind of strategy. They're all about one thing: being a man who is present, grounded, and genuine in his interactions with people. That's it. That's the whole thing. Women are not complicated in the way most men think they are. They're not looking for perfection. They're not looking for someone who has memorized a playbook. They're looking for someone who makes them feel something real. Someone who feels steady when everything else feels rushed and surface level. Most men are so caught up in what to say, how to look, what to text, that they completely ignore the quiet moments, the in-between moments. A hug is one of those moments, and it's in exactly those moments where real connection either gets built or gets missed. The men who understand this have an edge that most people can't even see, because it's not loud, it's not flashy. It's just a quiet confidence that shows up in the small things. And small things stack up. They build a feeling over time, a feeling she starts to associate with you specifically. So take what you learned here and actually use it, not as a checklist, not as a performance, just as a reminder to show up fully, in the moments that most people sleepwalk through. Because that's what separates a forgettable interaction from one she carries with her long after you've said goodbye.